Hello, everyone. Incredible greetings. Incredible greetings, everyone. How are you guys doing? All right. I had to do my captions. I forgot. All right. So copy. Well, I was actually copy and pasting so many other things. So copy, post. Hello, everyone. Incredible greetings. I'm actually trying to hurry up because this is way past the time that I want to be. I had planned to be here, but I had to finish up a couple of things today. So I'm actually on pretty late, later than I thought that I would be on. Um, but it's okay. You guys don't often get to see me or hear from me on a Saturday in the evening anyway. So we're going to see how this goes. All right, so we are all shared out. Hello. Incredible greetings. Hey. All righty, there we go. Hello, everyone. All right, we're going to get right into this because I want to get home to watch Hallmark. It's been a long day and I'm kind of hungry. So I want to hurry up and get through this. Like I said, I had planned on being on a little bit earlier. Hopefully, the person that inspired this video will get the notification that I am on. If not, she'll be able to catch the playback of this. And again, I welcome you guys to share this out, especially if you are a creative, crafter, whichever term you go by. If you know others that are like-minded like you, go ahead and hit the share button and share this out because we're going to talk about something that I see a lot. This is something I also experienced in this, and it took a lot of work. I'm not going to say that it's something that happens overnight, that you come to grips with it overnight. It is something that I'm still a working progress on. I'm telling you, it's a work in progress. All right. And that is the pressure to be perfect in this. I will speak to as far as creative businesses, but really in any business, especially small businesses. So there's a difference in doing your craft and like doing it well, and then like this need to be perfect, right? Like there's a really big difference, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. Promise you, we're not going to be on long. I'm not going to keep you guys too long, but we're going to discuss some things. All right. So as you guys come in, drop a hey, how you doing? Let me know who is on, where you are watching from. Let me know how long you have been in the creative space I would say professionally. I used to always have this hashtag that was called DIY by professional. So let me know how long you have been professionally crafting. All right. Hello, new to the silhouette and purchase your class. Oh, thank you, Tanya. Is it Tanya? I'm guessing that you purchased Essentials to Silhouette Studio, learn Silhouette Studio in 30 days. If you did, thank you for enrolling and welcome. I'm actually going to do, I'm going to put a live session, like for anyone that has signed up for it. We're going to have, like, it's going to be next week. We're going to have just another Zoom session, just kind of a quick review, like to close off this year for those, especially for those who purchased this year, and just to kind of let you guys know about like more about the programs that are coming in January, but they're also going to be released next week for you guys to go ahead and enroll in those, the bachelor's program, the master's program, and some other programs like subject specific type programs as well. So I will be reaching out to you guys. You guys are going to get emails about the Zoom session. For it's open to anyone that has purchased Essentials to Silhouette Studio, but it is a jam-packed, jam-filled program that goes through every tool and function. So if you guys don't know, Essentials to Silhouette Studio goes through every tool, essential tool and function in Silhouette Studio to help you understand exactly what each tool and function does. And then, towards the end, I'm showing different designs and different techniques so that you can see how they all come together. They aid you in understanding additional classes such as our design challenges, the programs that are coming up, our memorial classes, our grad stole classes, party favorite classes, because I use Silhouette Studio as the main program that I teach from. So it's easier to follow along, even following along with the tutorials on our YouTube channel. Once you know where things are, it becomes a little bit easier to follow those trainings. So thank you so much for enrolling. And for anyone else, the link is in the description of this video if you want to enroll in the program. Oh, I just realized I forgot to put something over on TikTok. I will have to come back to my Linktree because I forgot about that. All right. So hello. Hey, Professor, it's been a minute. City girl in a country world, period. I have hit a slump and I'm not as motivated as I used to be. That's very interesting that you would say that, because I have dealt with that. I've spoken with a couple of people who are who are dealing with that, only because like it's not just one person. The industry as a whole has kind of changed and switched up a little bit. I was having a discussion with a few people, and I ended up I decided to do something to help with that for myself as well as others and like-minded creators, which I'm going to talk a little bit about. So stick around. You will definitely learn that, especially with the way that Essentials to Silhouette Studio is set up. You have to go into that program understanding that it is not about getting you straight to creating designs, right? It's about understanding the tools and functions and really taking notes on them, like, understanding what subtract does, what compound path does, how are they similar, how are they different, when should you weld, how to select, how to navigate the program. That is what Essentials to Silhouette Studio is for. It is not designed to be like a design program like that's going to educate you on like how to create like every single design that's out there. In order to know how to design, you got to know the software, where things are and how things operate and how they work. So that's what that is for. So you have to go into it with that mindset that you are learning the program. You're not learning to design fully, you're learning the program. And once you kind of see those different tools and functions, if you enroll in things like, especially our design challenge, we did 7 of them. If you then enroll in those, it makes it comes together full circle. Okay. But stuff like that, or even, creating things like this and like the grids, collages and stuff like that, you'll start to understand how to set those up and be able to, have an idea, look at a file or bring certain things in and know how to recreate something or just how to create it from scratch. Okay. 3 years and counting. Okay. Hey, I live in Miami now and I'm getting my hair done tonight in Miami Gardens. I've been off and on, but 2024 is my year to be consistent. Woohoo! You're in Miami Gardens. I'm about to go home in a few. I was supposed to be getting my hair braided before Christmas. I'm hoping I can get it done before Christmas Eve, but I'm supposed to be getting my hair braided down too. Hey, just say hello, hello, hello. Incredible greetings. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. So let me go ahead and do this intro real quick. I am Shakia, the professor of HS Inc. 365. We are the home of the honestly speaking brand of products. If you don't know, we carry the most efficient sublimation paper your money can buy. I've done tons and tons and tons of real time, like not edited. We have some edited ones too, just a few. But I live for live content. And we have a lot of live content where I've made most of these tumblers over here live, even with doing our, oh gosh, this was like one of the pain points in the group that kind of inspired today's session, doing black, like y'all see how amazing that is. That black tumbler, like no ghosting, nice seams and things of that nature. We did this one live that has a lot of black in it. These two have a lot of black in them, yet we still have really great seams, really great edges. So many people say that, black tumblers for sure. Those that have a lot of black in it are like a pain in the tuchus. But doing and understanding tumblers just in general, we have another session, and I'm excited for the live class we will have on tumblers, like in person. So I was gonna say live, so the in-person one that we're gonna have in Miami Gardens. I'm super excited about that one. And for those who are not afraid to use an oven, if you see my videos, especially if you're using honestly speaking paper and you're not afraid to use an oven, I'm testing out like this new thing so that like when it comes to doing multiples, it's a lot easier to load them in your big oven. Right. So we're gonna test that out. Well, I'm testing it out and I will bring it to you guys really soon if it works out the way that I think that it is going to work out. All right. But we are the home of the Honest Speaking Brand products. Our paper does not bleed through the back. Very minimal ghosting. You're able to sublimate as low as 365 degrees, as fast as 30 seconds. It doesn't require a lot of ink. Almost pretty much everything that we do, except when like certain black designs, and depending on which printer you're using, I do use like premium matte, but with my density really, really low. But I print just about everything. 83, even though it's not a real number, 83.65%. Well, I guess it could be 65% of the things that I create, I print in plain paper setting. This shirt with all of these vibrant colors, the black is blacking. It's on this side, so it's like on different sides on these things. These were printed with plain paper, bright white setting set to the highest possible quality. But I don't use premium matte. I use plain paper, bright white on my converted Epson printers. I'm still working out the settings for the Sawgrass, and I don't have a F570 or a 170, like a genuine Epson sublimation printer to kind of know those settings. But on my converted ones, whether it's an EcoTank or a workforce printer, like a cartridge-based printer, I'm using plain paper, bright white, set to the highest quality. Not high quality plain paper, bright white, set to the highest quality. We're also the home of Silaholics Anonymous, which if you, like some of you guys, if you're like following us on Facebook, you may have got notification that we did change our Facebook page. Because I typically tend to hit that whenever I go live, I hit Silaholics Anonymous like on there. And that is our platform for, like, it was to teach Silhouette Studio. Now on YouTube, it is still Silaholics Anonymous. My goal is to make like, especially 2024 sessions like this. If you are not following me on Honestly Speaking's YouTube, you won't see it on YouTube. Like, I am committed that next year, anything that I do on Silhouettes Anonymous will only be related to Silhouette Studio and the cameos. I've done a lot of designing over the past couple of years. So my next couple, like especially at the start of the year, a lot of the content on that page won't be necessarily designing. It's going to be a lot more of like seeing the actual machines, more so the 4 and like my originals. I would like to get a 5, but I'm waiting for that white one. I'm not sure if it's out yet. But I know a lot of people are going to, getting the new 5. So once we get that, a lot of our content will just be like the machines and adjusting them, because we've spent a lot of years working on design. And then we have our programs that's really, 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 really going to go and like dive deep into the designing part of it. So my YouTube channel will be more about the machine and like cutting vinyl, cutting paper, some finished product projects and things of that nature. So be on the lookout for that. But our Facebook page, because I'm a Facebook girly, our Facebook page for Silhouettes Anonymous, the name has changed to 365 Creative Academy, because I typically tend to just like hit that, and all of my content, no matter what it is, I'm normally live on that platform. So that was changed, and it was approved for that to be changed to 365 Creative Academy. I'm going to be changing up. Well, the logo already had that logo. I mean, the profile picture was already our 365 Creative Academy logo. But now I'm going to change like the not the thumbnail, the cover photo and like things like that. But some of you guys may have noticed the change on Facebook for that. All right. But Silhouettes Anonymous is our free resource. It's a free resource to learn to navigate and use Silhouette Studio. There's years and years and years of content. I struggled with new content. And although I did not want to, like, these are some of the things that we're going to talk about in the Creative Lounge, which I'm going to like give you guys more information about. But I struggled with like how much content to put out, like feeling like I'm constantly putting out the same stuff over and over. And there was this like huge amount of pressure on me to, I guess, always like just put out new stuff. And some of the old videos are lying dormant because creators, crafters feel like, oh, well, I only want to focus on what's new and what's trending. But the truth of the matter is, what I teach is timeless. Like, it really is timeless. So I'm going to end up like revamping some stuff and kind of like just reshooting it, reposting it, redoing those so that people can see a current date, because they sometimes don't like to watch the older videos. We have over 9 years of content on YouTube. That's absolutely amazing and very informative. Make sure that you guys are checking the videos tab. And for the past like 3-4 years, I've been heavy on live videos. So you have to click the live tab to be able to see like all of the live videos and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for that. And let's see. I think that's it. Honestly speaking, 365 Creative Academy, duh. So 365 Creative Academy, because that was like the segue into it, is our official learning institution, learning platform. That's where you're going to find our paid classes. Like, they are fully structured. It's going to be easier for you to find them. You're going to get a lot of helpful resources, like the actual files that we're working from, printouts to understand like the program, whether it's Silhouette Studio or Photoshop that we're teaching from. You'll get the playbacks. It'll be segmented. There we go. So it's a much better learning environment when you purchase access to classes via 365 Creative Academy. You can do that on our main site, hsink365.com, or directly from 365creativeacademy.com. All right. So that's everything, right? So let's get into tonight's discussion. I purchased the Curio. I haven't used it. So is that the only one that you have? You only have the Curio? Do you have a Cameo or a portrait machine? I don't own a Curio, so I won't have any content for the actual machine and how that works, and using things like stippling or embossing, stuff like that, because I don't own a Curio. Hey, hey, hey. Hola. Okay, so The question for tonight, I'm not sure if you guys looked at the description, or you just kind of clicked on the video. Well, the topic for tonight is the pressures, stressing over the little things. Um, is is too much pressure put on small craft businesses? And does that pressure come from you yourself, your customers, or is it that you guys are putting pressure on yourself because of Facebook groups? I came across a post and I was really, really shocked at some of the comments and responses on that post. And I was like, man, the way they're like wording this, they're putting a lot of pressure on this person with this, I don't even want to say, this thing of just like, oh, it has to be perfect. Oh, it's your name that's out there. And, you don't ever want anything that has your name on it to be messed up. And I'm like, man, I mean, they were coming in hot and heavy with those comments, just saying that, and the mistake on it, I'm not even gonna call it a mistake. The way that it was made, it was very minute, in how it was, like the finished product. And I was so surprised at how many people made the suggestion to start over, remake it, and just like the other context that came with it. So I'm like, man, it's bad enough where we probably have, like, we have this desire to put our best foot forward, and then under you have a deadline. Then it's like you're worried because someone gave you, someone paid for this. So it's a little bit different than if you were just crafting, someone paid for this. So it's like that pressure. And then when you have your peers, those who are in the same industry as you, and they're like dumping all of this, I'm like, man, that's a lot. It's enough to where somebody that was new would feel inadequate, like, I'm doing something wrong, I can't get this. And I'm like, where was the encouragement? Like, man, I was, yeah. So anywho, that kind of sparked this conversation. Okay. That's why I stay out of these groups. I saw that post. Also, my motto is, would you buy this? If not, then redo it. So I'm kind of sort of that mindset as well. However, I am learning that I can't, okay, how can I put this? It's going to seem so weird how I'm going to say this, right? Some of us are overly critical of ourselves, and we wouldn't necessarily, we would accept less. I'm gonna say less, the wrong word, but it's like almost like accepting less from others, but like for ourselves we put so much pressure, right? So I know for me and how I am, I have my friend always says I have attention, no, I have detail syndrome. And my mom will always say I have this unhealthy desire for things to be perfect, and it causes me to have horrible time management. It caused me before to where things don't get done. I procrastinate a lot. I create a lot of self-doubt because of that toxic trait. So now it's not so much would I buy this, if not, I'll redo it, because I know for me, I feel like sometimes I have an unhealthy, like this is something I deal with in therapy as well. I have an unhealthy obsession with things being as perfect as possible. So if I lived in that, to be honest, because it's handmade, nothing would be like, I would second guess and I would question everything. And I've had to learn to stop doing that because I'm not making things for myself. And some people don't have, I'm going to say it's like that standard, but little things aren't important to them. Like they're like, okay, whatever. Like I'm just going to drink out of this. Like this, it's not that serious. Like, look, dude, if it had like a little, okay, look at God. I picked this one up. For me, right? Before I would stress, not sure if you guys can see this right there. Can you see that at the top? In the fact that my paper shifted ever so slightly at the top. If you guys made this and it shifted just like that, and you can clearly see where the other colors up there, and you can tell that it shifted. By show of hands, how many of you guys would have been like, "Oh no, I'm not giving this to the customer, and I'm going to remake it"? How many of you guys would have remade this tumbler? Yes, I used to stress at that and redo them. Me. She covered her eyes and raised her hand. Or just give it to them at a discount. I used to, not anymore. Me. So let me now ask you guys this. Is it because you are a crafter, and when it comes to things like this, if you were, let's say you did not, you're somebody, I only do shirts. I only do shirts. I only do balloons. I only make candles, because these are all different crafts, right? If you wanted a tumbler, I see this, I love it, and you saw this, would you complain to the person that made it? Would you complain and say, I want my money back, I want a discount, I want it remade? You would be disappointed. So now my question is, when you guys purchase something, do you go and like fully inspect everything? Like if this had the lid on it, it's going to be like this. Like, do you go and fully inspect it, and that would be a major disappointment to you? Because someone says, I wouldn't, but I would be disappointed, right? How many of you guys like fully inspect every single thing that you purchase? You are going over it with a fine-tooth comb and you're looking for imperfections. So you would probably let them know about it, because you either, like for me, I pointed it out. If I were to just like, maybe I should have done it that way first, right? To where I just showed it to you guys. If I'm just going and I'm showing this, now that I've pointed it out, it's probably going to be too hard to unsee. But would you like look at this and automatically think that, like, for me, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like because I do certain things, in certain things that I do, I might look for it, but the average person, they're not looking at that. And you're going to say, oh, I will let them know about it, right? That's assuming that you know that that's not supposed to be that way. What if it was a shift in the design? There's white in this. What if that was supposed to be that way? If this was in the store, you would not buy it. So you're trying to tell me there is nothing that you have ever purchased that was not ideal. A burger where the cheese wasn't like the picture and it was off to the side. It had too much mayo. It had Like it just wasn't perfect, or are you just going to eat that burger? Have you ever purchased let's see. You've purchased, I like boxes of candy. Like, so I love my Milk Duds, my Sugar Babies, my Whoppers, a dented box. Let's say a crack and things like that is different. That's going to compromise the use of it. Trying to think. I mean, clothing wise, of course, if it's like some stuff, because my husband sews, if it was missing a button and it was the last one, guess what your girl finna do? We finna buy you, hey husband, sew this button back on. I'm trying to think like other things that I know, like I don't, my frappes, that's not always on point. Your girl gonna drink it. Trying to think other thing like tangible things. I purchased some clothing where like what's so funny to me is in clothing patterns don't always match up. It's okay and it's acceptable in that, hey, it was just a pattern, it was just like that, it doesn't always match up. But other things we want it to be perfect. I think we notice it because we make it, but if we didn't, we wouldn't notice it. And that's the whole thing. Most times your customers don't really know how something is supposed to look. Now, if it was something such as this one, where one side of it looks absolutely amazing, but you turn it around and you can clearly see that there is something wrong with this color. This is something where in the process of it, this is something that did not fully sublimate. Would I go and sell it? No, I'm going to have to go ahead and remake something like this because it is visible. It is completely visible. Like you can tell it is a defect. There are these lines and stuff like at the top. I had someone, and I'm hoping like maybe she will get on. One day she was here and she was helping me, and I showed her this tumbler that I made. And so for her daughter, it was for her daughter. I made it for them for senior night, and it fell. And so there was a burn mark in like one of the darker area, and it looked brown, a little bit brown instead of black. So when I gave her tumbler, I had told her whatever, I had remade it or whatever, and she never gave her child back her tumbler. So then when she came here, I was like, we were going through some stuff, and I had showed it to her, and she was like, Kia, really? I would have never known that there was something wrong with this. I would have thought that it was a part of the design. So she ended up taking that one so her child can have her tumbler back. But I'm like in that moment, I'm like, damn, I was really, and my mom kept telling me, Shakia, no one's gonna notice that. This is another one. So I've remade things to me that just look wrong and it looks burnt. This right here. So in this is another one that it fell. I didn't realize that it fell in the oven, and I used my regular kitchen oven. And so when it fell, because there's no air circulating, like it's not on convection, it's just a regular oven, which means it is straight heat. Because it was so close to the heating element and it fell and I didn't notice it, this part right here burnt because it was just like sitting down like this. So of course I remade it because it was a Christmas gift for a kid in Zion Minus class. That kid would have never noticed this. I think for me, had I not been somebody that teaches and this was like a teaching opportunity for me, I probably would have, because you wouldn't have been none the wiser. It would have probably been like, okay, did the design fade there? There's ways like, because you can create designs where they fade. This right here, I probably still would have done it, and I would have kept this for marketing purposes because I froze over here. I can take pictures of this. It makes it to where that I made this right before I took it to the school. And I can keep this one I can take pictures of it from a different angle. And so now for me, it becomes marketing. I can finesse this and be able to put it in different settings, use this, set it up on a table, take different pictures, have my son hold it this way. No one's going to know that my kid's name is not Santana, but I can go and have him with his tumbler in his room because my child has a Paw Patrol chair. He has every Paw Patrol you can think of. Like, I could create this scene to sell this with my son and all of his Paw Patrol stuff, playing with his 30,000 Paw Patrol toys, with his tumbler either sitting right next to him holding in his hand. It became a marketing opportunity for me that I otherwise would not have thought of, because I'm like, okay, I'm not going to just make a random Paw Patrol tumbler, like, because it was for an order. So it's about mindset and finding the good out of it. Now, with this part, I probably would have still redone it. But what was posted in the group was a slight shift. So I'm going to show you this side. It's shifted. Like, the white doesn't go right across. So in the fact that this white does not meet right here, would you guys remake it? So when you guys, so if you were to buy something like a tumbler, this is personalized. This is not. They do this. Are you buying it for the design that is on it, or are you buying it for the functionality of it? Is it the design that's on it or the functionality? Because I must say, the whole ask for a percentage off, I will say I was guilty of doing that before becoming a full-fledged business owner and just really understanding about business, especially if it's something that is not done on a machine. I feel like society gives more grace to companies that mass produce via a machine that still has imperfections versus something that is handmade. And you can't really, I won't say control that, but it's like you might have imperfections because it's handmade. But more grace is giving to a machine where it's like no one working, it's just machine going, versus someone that's actually taken the time and it's manual labor to create it. And I don't understand. So I've learned to give grace, because as a business owner, I would want that back. So I wouldn't for the white lines not lining up. So is it a really big difference in the white lines here not lining up versus where in the hell is it? Now that the cap's on it versus this? Is that really a big difference? I would probably remake it because I'm too hard on myself when it comes to tumblers. If there's one area that's not perfect, I do it over. And that's going to be so detrimental to businesses, to a lot of crafters, because I feel like crafters are putting this unrealistic expectation to be perfect on themselves. The functionality of this. So the fact that someone would ask for a discount, you're willing to accept it. You're going to use it the same way if there's no imperfection or not, because the design does not change how this works. It is still going to keep your drink cold. Your ice is going to last over 24 hours, or it's going to keep it really hot. It is still going to be the same functionality. You're probably not even going to pay attention to the design. After so long, this design is going to chip, crack. Like, this one is one that I have used for a long time. These don't last forever. I have cups at home that have chipped, cracked because I use them so much. Do you think I stopped using them? No, one of my favorite ones, it just says I love MJ because that's my kid's for like my oldest son, that's his name. Pretty sure that was made for Michael Jackson or probably Michael Jordan. I don't know, somebody, but it just says I love MJ. One of my favorite mugs. It has two different sides, like it has two sides to it. One side has like glitter on it. Baby, that glitter side, look, a hotmess.com. Do you think that it stops me from using it? No. So if what I don't get is for certain things, like I'm in this place now to where I'm either going to, if I accept it, I'm going to give that person the value of it. If I choose, like if I feel like it's that bad to where I want a discount, I'm just going to reject it altogether, because I am now realizing how much of a slap that is in the face to say, okay, yeah, it's good enough for me to take, but it's like, it's good enough to take. It's good enough only if you're going to give me a discount. And I'm going to, like, it took the same amount of work on it. Or those who will say, give this to somebody for free. Oh, I'll just remake it and I'll give them both of it. Excuse me? That messed up tumbler will be more beneficial to you in the long run than giving it to a customer. The average consumer, they're not going to see this as some grand gesture and, oh my God, I'm a customer for life now because you gave me a free tumbler. The average, some people will, but the average will not. If you understand how to make your mistakes work for you, this now becomes something like for marketing, or it will teach you. If you have a bunch of messed up tumblers, they're constantly messing up. At that point, it's not about perfection. That means that you have not mastered the skill that you want to charge money for. And now, as much as it will hurt, it's time for you to take a step back, purchase items for practicing, and hey, if they come out great, you might want to put that to the side and consider selling it. If it's not so great, you can give it away as a gift. There's no expectation in it being perfect because, hey, this is just this, and you're going to sell them on the feature of it. You really think they're going to care if there's an imperfection in it, if it's really keeping their ice and stuff cold? But you can then use that, like, or if you keep it for yourself, you can use that for like to learn. As learning, you can use it for marketing, you can use it for your business. How many people complete orders and you don't have time to take pictures? How many of you guys complete orders and don't have time to take pictures? I don't see anything wrong with it. A lot of people wouldn't see anything wrong with it. I almost want to turn away tumbler orders because of my obsession with perfection. I have a tumbler right now that I want to do over, but I've decided I'm not going to. I waste a lot of tumblers over tiny imperfections. Send me the picture and I will let you know whether or not it is okay. Like y'all know I'm brutally honest. Now, if it was something that was just, look, you tripping, okay? Definitely go ahead and remake this over. If you know for a fact where you messed up at. Because the other thing is, sometimes you guys see it as an imperfection, but it's like, you can't control this. So many people want seamless tumblers, right? If it's not a seamless design and you don't have the perfect measurement, it's never going to be seamless. Never going to be seamless. I could never make this seamless. Now, something like this, if something happened to it, this got a whole thing of ink. I forget where. I think this was from my Roland BN20. If I made this, it fell, it got messed up. Guess what? I now have to remake this. This is an imperfection that, it's just not going to fly. Like, that's straight up messed up. But if it was just in me looking at this, it didn't line up like how I really wanted it to. This wasn't, I'm not about to remake this tumbler over again. Like, it's not going to happen. But I will be honest with you. And if it needs to be made over again, sometimes we're stressing about things that we cannot change. It's so many people that I help when it comes to designing. Oh, I've been working on this for hours. I can't figure it out. And they finally ask the question in the group. And I'm like, You are stressing about something that cannot be done. You spent hours and hours blaming yourself, going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and there is nothing that you can do to change that. Depending on, it's like you can keep making it over and over again, but what if the issue is in how the design was set up, but you never went back to go look at that? What is determining you like just making something over? And they always say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. So if you do it once, you do it twice, and it's still messing up every single time, are you still going to think that it's just in how you wrapped it, how you taped it? It's the tumbler press. At one point, when you look at something different, like look at maybe the design, is it how I'm wrapping it? Do I need to explore for this particular tumbler? Not every tumbler is going to be the same. Sometimes you may have to tweak a little bit in how you do it. When I have stuff that I really, 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 really like, I really, 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 really want them to line up, I'll make markers on the back and then I'll make sure that they line up. If it's something where it's like not that serious, this is why I do overlaps. I'm finding that a lot of people that have these imperfections like this is because you're cutting it right to the edge. You're not giving yourself any wiggle room. Had I given myself a little bit of a bleed, that would have covered itself. You would have never known. But do you have the know-how to think about those things? And now, okay, well, this keeps messing up. Let me figure out what's going on. It might be the design. It might be something that I'm doing. Tip checking your tumbler press. Just because your tumbler press worked great yesterday doesn't mean that, in the last couple of presses, something could have gone wrong. Do you have a temp gun? Are you troubleshooting properly? Or are you just putting this pressure on yourself to be perfect that you are going to create self-doubt because it's never going to come out perfect because you are not actually addressing the issue? Oh, this was like the second or third tumbler that I ever made. She's like, I love that tumbler that you're holding. This was like the second or third one that I ever made. I feel people expect excellence from small business owners, but will continue to support big businesses with no issues at all. Exactly. And that is what I'm saying. There's so much unnecessary pressure put on those who really can't afford to just make a new one every single time. Or you end up with 3 or 4 like messed up tumblers that are just sitting there because one, you're not pricing correctly. So you haven't even accounted for mistakes. You haven't perfected your craft. You haven't perfected your skills, but you want to sell. Those are things that you have to address because the society is going to continue to put pressure on you. My customers don't complain. That's how I know it's me and my need to be perfect. And that's what I want the Creative Lounge to be about. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about that. Not sure if you guys see it in the comment section. I'm going to also add it. In the description, I'm going to add it to the comment section now. The month of December, I'm going to go heavy because we're kind of like in like the middle of the month and we're just now starting this. We're going to start on Monday. But I want to do the Creative Lounge. It's for all of my creatives. It doesn't matter if you're doing shirts, tumblers, candles, party favors, balloons, like whatever it is that you are the creator of it. You can be making hair growth oil, hair butters. Hell, you can be a hairstylist. I want it to be like-minded individuals so that we can support one another, encourage one another. I'm going to give you guys tips and things. It is something that is a paid membership, but it's going to be worth it. So I just put it in the comment section. It is 1563. I don't know. For some reason on Facebook, it's not posting. You have to look at the description. I have to go in afterwards. It's 1563. You do it through our Academy site. We're going like this month, we're having sessions basically daily, just different topics, just chit chat, a place for you to vent, a place for you to get feedback and be open to honest, and it might come off as very, like, not just from me, like from others, like very blunt feedback and criticism, because you're going to have customers that are like that, right? Some of us haven't built up tough skin because we're so used to being in these groups where everyone wants this facade of always being positive. Oh my God, why do you have to be so nasty? It's like, sometimes it's not someone's being nasty, they're just being honest. And for me, I don't like this. Like, it's not appealing to me. Oh, what other people do, okay. Well, if you're selling to the masses and the public, you're going to come across someone who's not going to like your work. Yes, they may not be your ideal customer, but you won't know that until you've had that transaction with them, that they were not ideal. Maybe you need to adjust. Maybe it's like you have this ideal customer in your head, but that ideal customer is not biting at what you are putting out there. So maybe now you need to pivot. You need to figure out a different demographic or a different way of selling it. But you would never know that if someone isn't pointing that out to you. If they're not giving you different perspectives. One of the things that I'm learning in therapy is being open to different perspectives and respecting someone else's thoughts, opinions, and views of things, and not faulting them because they feel that way. We always say, okay, we can agree to disagree, but I think a lot of the times we say that when we just want the conversation or the disagreement to be over with. And it's like, it's a way to kind of just concede, like, okay, nobody got time to be going back and forth. Okay, we just have to agree to disagree. But do we really accept, like, hey, that's how you feel. It's how I feel. We can live in harmony with two different opinions, because maybe your life experience shaped the way you feel, how you feel, and my life experiences and my, just my upbringing or what I have dealt with, it shapes how I view things, and truly being okay with agreeing to disagree. Did I get the heart? Don't play. Wait, so when did YouTube start doing hearts? Did the heart come up? Because they said that was just a Apple thing. Did I get the hearts? Is that what you're talking about? Which hearts are you referring to? All right, so thank you. So in this post, hopefully she's on. It was of some, I guess it was like laces. And it was like a football design. And I'm guessing it was supposed to be kind of like a shoe, because they were not they didn't look like the threads or like the laces on a football, because the holes are way too big. It almost looked like it was supposed to mimic like a shoe or something, or maybe it was supposed to be like a football one. But they were kind of shifted a little bit, like where they did not make a straight line. And I'm like, this looks like it was for a kid. The kid wouldn't notice it. The parent wouldn't notice it. And although there was a shift in the design, the top did not have any ghosting, the bottom having ghosting, it was perfection. It was perfection. You didn't see, like, the second time around that she did it, because everyone was telling her, oh no, redo it. It's your name on the line. Oh, I will redo it. Even though it's just $15. One, she was undercharging for that, because I can tell it was customized. We're undercharging. That was the first thing. But everyone was like, well, I'm gonna say everyone, a good majority of people were just saying, oh, redo it. It's your name on the line. Oh, I would never send something out like that. And I'm like, how y'all know that's not how the design was made? Maybe it was meant to be abstract. If the customer doesn't know that design was meant to be abstract, or like, they're not going to know. They're not going to pay that much attention to it. So then she redid it again. And I'm like, you can do what you will. I'm just going to give you my personal and professional thoughts on this. The first time around, that seam was immaculate. Nothing that, like, other than like the shift that indicated that it was a seam, because that could have very well been a part of the design. It was very consistent going all the way down. So for me, I'm going to look at that. Oh, maybe that's how that one was supposed to be. The second time that she did, after everyone said, do it over, do it over, do it over, do it over, do it over. The top part, perfection. But on the bottom, maybe like the bottom 4 threads, you could literally see where it gassed out. And you can see like that area should be stark, like I'm gonna say stark white, but it was like all white. But now you can see like this trail of gas or ink from all of the threads on the bottom. That stood out to me more than a perfect seam that just was a little bit shifted. Kind of like, it didn't ghost like this, but this to me would kind of sort of be like, okay, there was a mistake on it. The top part, you don't see anything, but then in the middle, you see this ghosting. Well, can y'all see it over here? So it would be kind of like that. Like it was a clear indication that something was wrong. The shifting didn't look like that, looked like it was the design. So then it's like trying to figure out what imperfections are acceptable. Because if y'all see the way that it was shifted, like I'll see if she's okay with me posting it to my Facebook. I think I can put pictures on YouTube, and then I'll probably try and post it to see if she doesn't mind. Because I did take screenshots of it. I took off the name, so you can't really see the person's name anyway. But I don't want them to feel like, it's someone scrutinizing them or feeling like that pressure, like people kind of putting their input on it. And if you're in that group, you probably see, I think someone else said they did see it. Oh, you can give me hearts. Oh, okay. I don't know. Don't know. So I'll ask, and then I'll get you guys' thoughts on it. Like, which one would you have preferred? Because I really don't want her to make it a third time, because there's no guarantee that it's going to match up the third time. Things like tumblers, I want you guys to understand this is the hardest part to perfect, especially if it's something that should technically connect. If you are not, when I say a master, I mean a master of your craft, and you have these techniques, you're not going to rush it. You're going to take your time. To get something to line up perfectly takes a lot of patience. It's not going to be this, oh, let me just throw this on here, tape it up, put it in the press or put it in the oven. If it's something where you want those lines, like I have to do one for teachers, and it's going to be like line paper. Like that's something where I don't really want it to shift. I want those lines to line up. So when I'm doing that one, I have to take my time. One of the things that we're going to talk about in the Creative Lounge is things like that. All tumblers are not created the same. If I were to do something like this where it's kind of random, it doesn't really need to line up, I can kind of just wrap it, tape it, and be done. Compared to something like the one when I do the line paper and I want that to line up, I am naturally going to have to spend more time on it. I'm going to have to do extra steps, whether it's put lines on it, and I'm going to make sure every last one of those lines line up exactly. If I'm going to take my time, if I'm going to make sure that it doesn't shift, instead of spending 2 minutes wrapping something, if I now have to spend 10 minutes wrapping it, I'm adding more time to this process. They are not the same. It requires more work. So why are you stressing yourself and putting pressure on yourself when you haven't even charged them properly for that pressure? It is okay to have different price points for things that are more difficult, that require more skill, that require more effort, that require more patience. But these are things that aren't talked about in just regular groups, and you end up putting unnecessary pressure on yourselves. Are you on? You said it's not Are you on the Academy site? Because I checked it and I know that it works and you're on the correct one. You clicked on that link, it took you to it, and you're saying that it's not working. Hold on, y'all. Oh, wow. Okay. I was planning on going home. All right. All right. Glad I didn't leave because she would have been out of gas. Okay, I will look at it. She says, I actually like the laces. I did too. I thought it was amazing. Like, I thought it was really, really, I thought it was amazing. So at least I know now that you really did. Like, I know you looked at the same one. Yeah, I thought that looked amazing. I actually liked the look of it. I did not like the remake. Let's see. Did I miss anything over here? Nope. So over here, I think I did. Take those messed up tumblers and slap a tumbler wrap on it. I believe in the power of repurpose. I would put a wrap on it, but I would put a wrap on it if it was for a gift. I don't think I would actually resell it. And I'm going to show you something, somebody who does that. Big companies do it all the time. All the time. This was a tumbler. So when you're just looking at it, it just looks like it is a rhinestone tumbler, right? So I purchased this with the intentions of kind of like, I saw some things on it of taking it apart and I did the whole video on it. Well, once I took this apart, okay, so I started to peel it back. They repurposed a tumbler that wasn't selling anymore, or, it was like, maybe they created them. They never end up sent, because once they send them to a store, they don't take them back. But like if they end up having a bunch of them that were in the warehouse still or in production. This is what this tumbler was underneath. It said Barbie Land. So rather than toss these or whatever, because the whole Barbie thing was like over with and maybe they made too many of them, they took rhinestones, like a rhinestone mesh, put that ish over it, and threw it back on the shelves. Big companies do it all the time. Now, because of people like me, and I peeled it back, I was like, oh, I know you're lying. I mean, the average person probably would not peel it back, but I would be too afraid that they would. Like, it may come up and they're gonna look under it and be how I was with this. Like, oh, hell no. No, they did not repurpose this. So for that reason, like just on the off chance it comes up, I don't think I would ever sell it because I know how I felt to kind of see beyond the veil and that this was a cover up. But I definitely will gift it to someone. Like I definitely will gift it, like recover it up with I have a Rolling BN20, so I'm able to print adhesive vinyl wraps. So I would probably do that. And you can also purchase them as well, or you can strip them in like, well, not this, like a regular tumbler, you can strip them. And then, if you do epoxy, I don't do epoxy, but I definitely would end up putting a wrap on this because for somebody else, like for a gift, but not to sell. Because I was highly, even though it's only $5, because it came from 5 and below, I was highly upset that this is what was underneath this rhinestone. They definitely repurposed it. Oh yeah, see, there's a lot. See, that's another thing that we're going to talk about in the creative lounge. There's so many things that big companies do, but small businesses don't pay attention to those things. in how they market and how they sell, how they do commercials. There's like so you are not putting so much pressure on yourself. You are learning to be smarter and wiser business people, men or women. I do epoxy tumblers as well. So that's how I use my messed up ones that can't be covered up with a new design. Yes, see, I don't mess around with epoxy. For some people, like if you do epoxy, if you have another method that you can use when it comes to these, definitely do that. With just stripping them, it ends up now taking up more time to strip. Like that's an extra step compared to just putting a vinyl wrap on it. Oh, actually, you know what? Is my vinyl wrap one in here? I actually have one that is a vinyl wrap. And you'll never be able to tell which one is a vinyl wrap and which one is sublimation. Let me see. Is it over here? Nope, it's not. All right, I'm going to wrap this up because Gucci Crafts had something to do, and I need to cover her night for 25 days of Craftmas. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I need your help. What would you guys like to see me do for 20? It has to be something where it's just going to be designing because I don't have anything here prepped to show anything. What can we do for 25 days of Craftmas? Because I now have to do that. I would cover and resell only if I were doing epoxy. Oh yeah. Now if you're going to resell, yeah, if you're doing epoxy. I've seen people selling oops tumblers at a lower price. Yeah, you can do that because big stores do it all the time. That's what Ross, TJ Maxx. What's the other one? Because we have two. There's Marshalls. They're all built off of, these were not perfect, but we still want to sell them. Big companies send their not so perfect things to places like that, and people are buying them all the time, and it's a little bit off, all the time. Now, as long as it's not a dang it, God, what's the name of the designer when Denise tried to remake it for Theo? It was just on the tip of my tongue and I can't think of it. Now, if it's that messed up, we just gonna throw that away. that was just horrible. But big companies do it all the time. They don't go and just throw away money. They're gonna at least make their money back on the supplies and the labor, not just the supplies and the labor, by letting companies like Ross, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, and like just different store, Burlington, sell items that are not quite that perfect. Oh, Home Goods too. Yep, Home Goods. Gordon Gartrell. Yes, there you go. See, look, y'all some TV buffs. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. I just want you guys to try. I know for some it's gonna be harder. It's definitely harder for me. I have improved on the way that my classes are held. And I know a lot of people have learned from my old classes. A lot of people have. I never promoted it, so I'm going to right now, there is a discount code on my old classes, like the classes that are clearance. If you literally just go to our website, they're on there. And if you end up putting them in your cart, you end up, like some people end up with a surprise. This is 60% off because they just went there and they wanted the class and they end up with a discount. So most of our old classes are discounted. There's actually two different discounts on there, which are, I think they're automatic. Yeah, they're automatic at checkout. But because I have changed the way that I think, I did it to myself. I literally just experienced this and just feeling like, oh, those classes aren't perfect. Now, mind you, I have a whole 60% off discount on them, even though they're still very much so worth it. It's just that I've elevated in how I teach, providing worksheets and just the manner in which I teach, to where I kind of had a little bit of imposter syndrome. But the classes are there. They are discounted. If you guys want to take advantage of those discounts, just go to 365 Creative Academy. Actually, there's a clearance I will post the link to the clearance collection, and everything in there is 60% off, I think 60 or 70% off, somewhere in there. So I've dealt with that too, and this need to be perfect. I had this fear of those who have taken the new courses, like they were a part of the design challenges, um, some of the other like recent classes that I did, if they would have purchased those and it's like, oh my God, this is like not like the other ones. It's not set up the same way. And, and maybe not want to take additional classes with me, but they are discounted. So you still learn from them. So I deal with that stress. I have been stressing over it, which is why y'all kept hearing me mention the discounts and stuff. It's supposed to be for Black Friday. And I stressed over the little stuff to where I know I have lost out on money during that time because I stressed over the little stuff. I stressed over this toxic trait of wanting things to be perfect and worrying too much about how people perceive what it is that we do, what is that I do. If you are someone who is learning and you want to turn this into a business, you want to be able to charge people for your services or products, but you are in the beginning stages, you cannot charge the same amount as others. I'm in like a balloon group, and it's some people where it's like, hey, you're learning. I applaud the effort. No, you cannot charge what other people are charging. Hell no, I wouldn't have paid for that for the results that you gave me, especially at that high of a price point. You got to work on it a little bit more. Get some more freebies or orders where all you're charging them for is the supplies. Because if you've never done an outside setup, how are you charging me top tier for an outside setup? And then once it's all said and done, because you don't understand, you didn't know how to account for wind. You didn't know how to account for oxidation because you've always done inside. Your poles are not correct. And I've now paid you this money because you got this magic number from a Facebook group. And I go and I look at this, and this is a hotmess.com. That's where it's like, okay, I've done, they see your work. It's great. I've never done an outside event. I would love to be able to being honest with your customers. If you're new to tumblers, this is something new that I'm working on. I would like to be, I would love to be able to make it. This is our introductory price, or if you can just buy the supplies, I will make it. And that way, if there is an imperfection, if you haven't perfected your skills, you told them straight up, this is something that I'm learning. I'm still working. You can't perfect your skills if you don't have things to practice on. So think about doing that. But it's things like that I want to encourage you guys on, to think outside of the box. So, I invite you guys, I encourage you guys to sign up. It's $15.63 per month, but you're going to have a lot of sessions, you're going to be around like-minded people. We have a exclusive community on the Academy site. There's no Facebook group for it because I can't do another Facebook group. But if you have questions, things like that, you can always post it in there. We're going to have Zoom sessions where you can actually verbalize it. There's going to be some morning sessions, some evening sessions. The month of December, everything, almost every day except like the weekend. So I'm not doing Saturday and Sunday. And of course, not Christmas Eve, Christmas, or the day after Christmas. But we'll have sessions pretty much every single day. There are some morning sessions, like starting on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The session is at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tuesday and Thursday, the session is at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's kind of just an open discussion, but also kind of guided in things like this about pressure, about marketing. So many people have asked me about business structure. So I just want to kind of have like a little session about that. Like, is it time for you to structure your business with your Secretary of State? Just general discussions, not about like how to do it, but when is it beneficial? What are the benefits of it? So just little discussions like that, being around like-minded people, those who are going to encourage you through constructive criticism and give you a different perspective to look at, but you have to be open to that and not take everything as a jab at you. And just kind of, just being open to see how other people, because especially if you're that person that's like, my assignment is not local, it's global. That means you are dealing with so many different people. I think it's a little bit easier to kind of gauge your audience when it is local and it's a little bit more controlled. Once you have a website, once you're putting it out there, and anyone around the country or anyone around the world can consume your content, your products, your services. They can see them. It's a little bit harder to control who sees it and what they're going to say, because the internet is full of people who don't care what they say. They have no filter. And yes, on your business page, this whole thing of, oh my God, how dare they put that on my business page? Because that's where you're selling it at. So if I think it's crap, if I think it's trash, every negative review is not the end of your business. Every multi-billion dollar industries and businesses, they have tons and tons and tons of negative reviews because you can't please everyone. But I want you guys to be a little bit more comfortable in that part of the journey as far as being a business owner. So I welcome you guys to join us in the creative lounge, chilled, not structured, not super structured, but we're going to have detailed and pertinent discussions and things of that nature. It's just about bringing around like-minded people, and where it's guided, there's support, there's motivation, and things of that nature. So I welcome you guys to join us. It's $15.63 per month. All right. The link is in the description, or you can head on over to our Academy website. It is not going to be on Shop because I can't set up, you can't set up the monthly payments like over there. So it is 365creativeacademy.com is where you're going to go to sign up for that. Okay. Small imperfections are what make our products and ourselves one of a kind. Exactly. No one else will have that same imperfection. All right. So, last thing before I go. Y'all, I said that I would do her 25 days of craftiness. What should I do? What should I do, Jesus? Oh God. You knew how'd you know I was gonna say something about that tumbler? How? Don't act like you know me. Don't act like you know me. I'm watching the 7-day challenge right now. So that was actually, I'm not gonna lie. That was last year. The 10-day one, the one for vector design, the one for party favors, the vector design one, and there was another like multi-day challenge. I was going through them videos myself. I was in my bag on those. Like I was really doing the damn thing. So here we go again. No one has any suggestions on what I could design. Who Jesus? I gotta figure out something because I don't want to be here all night. I gotta figure out something. I gotta figure out something real quick. I gotta figure out something real quick. real quick. But come on back. If you're not on DIY Crafting Network over on Facebook, be sure to head on over there to catch the other creatives. I will be live on DIY Crafting Network, Shakia Lavelle, and if I do designing, I'll be live on Silaholics Anonymous on YouTube, because that's where I'm going to design from. Yes, it's a Facebook page. It's a Facebook page where you can see the other creatives, but you can always follow me as well. Like you can see the playback of it on there. But for everyone else, like there's all types of different crafts and stuff like that. You can check it out on Facebook, DIY Crafting Network. But for me, anything that I do, I'm always on all of my platforms. I'm working on designing Christmas cards now, so could always use that for myself. I actually did that. I ended up turning my design last week into a Christmas card. So you can go and check that out. No one has any ideas. Oh my gosh, I gotta figure out something. I gotta figure out something. Crapola. I gotta figure out something. All right, y'all, let me go figure this out. Until next time. And I'm going to figure out, I will send out an email. I'm not sure what happened with it. I will send out an email, another email, because I'm not sure. I'm not physically making the products, guys, because I was not prepared. A Christmas blanket. Okay, but what do you want on this Christmas blanket? I can show you the design, but I'm not physically making anything. I don't have a blanket to press. Well, I probably do, but I really don't feel like. Then I have to figure out how to move my camera, set out. This is last minute. So I want to do something that's just designing. So, and when I'm asking for ideas, it's like specific like things like someone asks like about the Care Bear, and I put the Santa hat on it. I changed the middle part, like little things like that that's Christmas related, not just like, okay, create a placemat, because then I'm going to be stuck on, okay, what do I design to put on here? Because if I just want to make a placemat, I don't have to design it. I'm going to create a Fabrica. I'm going to find something and I'm just going to throw it on there. So that's not really helping me with designing, other than like, I'm literally just going to show you how to size it. That's about it. So I don't know. Crap. I need to buy the design. I work on Christmas and want that on my shirt. It's actually in the vault. I put it in the template vault. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Hi, hello. So that Grinchmas, not Grinchmas, that winter coat Grinch, like the teenage Grinch, as well as the design that I made the other day, is in the template vault. So if you have the template vault, if you go into, I think it's in miscellaneous, or did I create another one that says Christmas design? I think I created one that says Christmas or seasonal designs, and it's under there. So you can go get that from the template vault. Okay, but with what? Do you have a saying that it should be? What type of shirt? Like, it's about designing. When I design, I can put it on anything, which we proved last time I designed. I ended up making a mock-up as a card, as a tumbler, and as a mug. Oh, which I did make the mug. Hold on. This was a design that we created on the last 25 days of Craftsmas, and I put it on a mug. So the mug set up, the tumbler set up, and I don't think I did the greeting card setup, but I know the mug and it doesn't have it doesn't have this on it. It's just open. You can put whatever you want there, but they are in the template vault. Christmas tree ornament or window decal that has text with an effect and a decorated Christmas tree, nativity scene, and carolers. That's a lot. That's too many. I don't like. Keep in mind, I don't draw none of this stuff. I'm not finna go. That's all. That's a lot of stuff I got to go and find PNGs for. Jesus. What temp and time do you use? It varies. For the most part, pretty much everything that can be done on a heat press, 365, 30 seconds. Great thing about our paper is all the temps and times are on the cover sheet. But for the most part, 365, 30 seconds. Thank you. Let's see. Yes, I do have one. I'm trying to think. Okay, so just give me some words. I just need words. Like last time when I did this mug, it was Jesus is the reason for the season. I need words, and I'll create some type of design off of just words. Can you play around with the Hello Kitty Christmas tumbler? I need ideas for my niece. Hello Kitty. I just need words. I need specific words, and I'll just create a design, and that can literally go on anything. Actually, you know what? Let me just go find. I'm going to recreate something. I'm just going to find a Christmas design and I'm going to show you how to recreate it. That's it. That's what I'll do. I'm just going to find something and just recreate it. All right, y'all. I will be back. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace. Ooh, Christmas calories don't count. I like that one. An ugly Christmas sweater. It's short notice. I don't do ugly Christmas sweaters. I don't understand the purpose. Like when I do them, I make ugly Christmas sweaters with like throwing a bunch of craft stuff on it and gluing it. I don't really design them like that. I don't just like, to me, it's like it's gaudy stuff on it. So there's really nothing to design like on the computer for that. So yeah. All right, y'all. I gotta go. Until next time, have a great one. Peace.